Good morning, everybody. Body Bag Swag here, and we're here to give you your weekly Call of Duty Warzone update. Yesterday, January 23rd, they came out with some patch notes, and actually, about yesterday afternoon, they went in and added some additional patch notes because when the patch went live, there were some changes to weapons, but they weren't inside of the Warzone patch notes. So they made some changes to multiplayer, but it ended up going into Warzone, and that was intentional. So they've updated the patch notes for that. So we're gonna get into that, but please, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's get into today's patch notes. So January 23rd, yesterday, they released the patch notes. However, there were some changes that were made in multiplayer. They didn't make their way into Warzone, so they went in and updated the patch notes to reflect those changes in the Warzone environment. So assault rifle, the Holger 5.56, there's a update to the aftermarket part, the signal burst that turns the auto rifle into a burst style weapon. All right, and they just updated some gun kick control, recoil control, and some burst fire delay to make it a little bit better in Warzone, because it really wasn't worth using. And honestly, I'm not too sure if it's even worth using now. I haven't seen anything posted online, nothing on Twitter saying, hey, this is the game changer. But it might just still be fun to use. Battle rifle, sidewinder, they decreased the bullets required to reach maximum fire rate. So as you hold the trigger, it would fire faster. Now, instead of the first 25 bullets needed to make it speed all the way up to maximum fire rate, you only need 15. And that's the sidewinder, that aftermarket part that turned it into a LMG. Then the submachine guns, the AMR9, which was already buffed last week, guess what? It got another buff. This time it changed the fire rate. It went from 789 to 833. It's a 6% increase in fire rate. We already know the weapon was that meta contender weapon last week. It definitely is in the meta now, and you do have the option though, because you can use the HMR9. So now you have the option of using either or. But they did make an update to its aftermarket part that turns it into a double barrel kit, which is also like another burst weapon, like a tap to fire weapon. But they decreased aim down sight speed and hip fire spread. And then they made the firing mechanism a little bit more consistent, because it wasn't really shooting 2 bullets at one time before, but now both shots are going off. But you still have the Rival 9. The Rival 9 has an aftermarket part that turns it kind of into like a low-key assault rifle, but it wasn't really worth using before. But now you can use it now, really only for like that close range engagements. Though it's fun. It's like a fun gun to use, but it's not gonna be game breaking. The DM56 got the same changes as the Holger 5.56 for its aftermarket part as well, that turns it into a burst rifle. So the breacher drone was doing like an insane amount of damage, and you can pretty much just launch that bad boy, and if it was like within that 10 meters, it would like still go on. Like it was pretty intense. But it looks like detonation upon impact within 5 meters will now occur with a decreased detection radius. So shouldn't be getting trolled by breacher drones going into your building. They fixed there were some bug issues. Again, issues with the loadout drop marker, issues with people's perk packages to incorrectly equip when you selected your loadout. So hopefully those are fixed. There were some issues with the new contract, the champion quest. But you can all hear text alignment issues, some inside plunder. But aside from that, there was some small changes, patch notes, but definitely some changes, because that AMR9 submachine gun change, that was definitely not in the patch notes yesterday morning, and then they added that in afterwards. And that's just because they made some changes in multiplayer and Warzone still you can change one and change the other, but they went and they added it. So thank you very much to Raven for always getting out those updates, and for Sledgehammer as well, man. They're out there, they're killing it right now. So pretty awesome to see. But if you go over to the Warzone Trello board, you can still see that there's still some unresolved issues going on. Perk packages still are an issue. Map distortion is still an issue. The ascenders that would take people out of the map are still disabled. Some melee issues, and they're still going through making these changes, updating them. People were getting kicked, and they were inactive. They were not. Armor plates not, plating up correctly or consistently. But yeah, they've got a few issues that they're working on. However, just as many issues as they're working on, they're resolving tons of issues as well. So yeah, I appreciate you guys listening in. Have a good time. Tell me what kind of weapons you're using in the meta right now. What are you guys having fun with? And again, if you haven't liked, comment, subscribe already, or hit that notification bell for when the next update goes out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.